Hi, Raya. You're first. Congratulations. Hi. 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 Welcome. We're here. I made it. Um, it is unbelievably, well, believably, it is extremely cold outside. It is extremely cold. I have not had a pleasant couple of days on account of the cold. Um, my my work on my house that to patch up the insulation has definitely paid off, but my furnace still has to run quite a lot to keep up with it. Um, Thankfully, I actually haven't been home that much, so I haven't had to run it. I can turn it down a bit and save a few bucks on the gas. But we're here. Um, so, in light of me having a million peppers, which I will show you in a moment, we got an absurd amount of peppers. Peppers are being clearanced again. In the past, I've picked up peppers and ended up throwing some of them away because we didn't get to them. Um, I got a bag of peppers not long ago, so I even have some slightly wrinkly ones over here, which we should probably use up in the process. So we're doing peppers. I also would like to run the oven because it's cold, and running the oven produces heat. It'll help warm the kitchen up because it's chilly. So I want to make Ajvar. For one thing, Ajvar is a great way to use up a large quantity of peppers, so that I don't have to use just one or two peppers here. We can use a whole pile of them. So that'll put a big dent in my number of peppers. But also it means we get to run the oven on real hot and open the door a whole bunch to let heat out because we're going to char our peppers. So that's the plan. That's today's plan. Um, but I have to show you this nonsense. Um, let's come over here. First of all, fancy cutting boards. The peppers. The peppers. They're still in their bags. And you know, they've got little spots on them because they are the clearance peppers. So we'll do a few little trims here and there, but they're in otherwise excellent shape. So, little tiny spot there, but otherwise, beautiful pepper. Pepper. Peppers. Peppers. Flemish, hi. Peppers. 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 The peppers you see before you cost me a total of $3 because they were being clearanced. And I once again asked, why? And they were like, oh, you know, a couple of them are slightly wrinkly, so we're getting rid of all of them. Oh. Oh, is that the reason? Because we also have some peppers from the last time they were clearancing peppers, which was just like last week. And these ones are actually wrinkly. These ones are actually wrinkly on account of them being from last week. So we're going to use those guys up first. But when I said I got a lot of peppers and we got to use up some peppers, I got a lot of peppers, and we're gonna use up some peppers. You know, peppers. Actually, we're gonna throw one out right now because I just noticed it's squishy. Got a little bit of a squooge to it. But anyway, yeah, this is what my local Woodman's keeps doing to me, and I don't understand it. They'll just take all of these beautiful peppers, like like beautiful, perfect peppers, and dump them in the clearance bin in big bags for $1. So I get peppers. Have I looked into dehydrating some to make paprika? We could try that today. Well, I have a dehydrator. We could dehydrate some. I haven't done it with the purposes of making paprika, but I have dehydrated oranges, lemons, and tomatoes. And I think I've got a jar of pepper slices around here. Or I've done that in the past as well when I got a big windfall like this of something that I knew I wasn't going to get through. No, you have a problem. Hi, Flamingo. You want a pepper? You want a pepper? How about this one? Have a pepper. Anyways, these are the peppers. These are the peppers. I also got 2 eggplants because we're making Ajvar. Ajvar is a good way to use up a lot of pepper. So that's going to be the main thing. But Ajvar is a condiment / dip. So we've got to come up with something to serve it with. And we have lots of time to think about that. I don't have a ton of ingredients to work with. I have not replaced my yeast yet. I have quite a bit of fish. We could do something with salmon, maybe. But we have time to brainstorm that. We can do a brainstorm. Hi, Sosceles. Oh, yeah, you said capsicum. I missed that because I was saying pepper. Anyways, today's goal is to chew up most of these peppers. Well, not most of these peppers. A substantial number of these peppers. Nom, 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 nom. Chew, you know. It's a lot of peppers. So yeah, we're gonna start with the wrinkly ones. So I'm gonna move everybody out of the way because this is the workspace. So all the peppers can slide over. I only took 3 bags of clearance peppers. I could have taken so many more. There were so many more. Okay, I had a reference up for Ajvar I was looking at. Let's see if I can't find that again. While I'm looking that up, how's everybody been? Surviving the cold? All of the U.S. except for Florida has been blasted with cold. Creating demand by buying me. This one has olives. This is the one I was looking at. From Fat-Free Vegan Kitchen, which we're not going fat-free. We're putting olive oil in this because, golly. But they put olives in it, which sounded like an interesting idea. You're waiting for the cold to hit. It is set in here tonight into tomorrow morning. Overnight tonight is supposed to be the absolute depths of the cold for me, which is concerning because it's been really problematically cold already. I would like to weigh out my eggplant. In pounds. There we go. So we've got 2 pounds, 5 ounces eggplant. And you want about triple that of pepper. So 6 pounds, 15 ounces. What's the... How many ounces are in a pound? I always forget because it's stupid imperial units. 16. You're going to start the car and run it a bit. I fortunately have not had difficulty starting my car this time. In the past, that has been a thing I've run into. We're going to use that yellow one because it's wrinkly. Otherwise, I want to do I guess a green batch and an orange batch. So we could probably put the yellow one in with the orange ones. Tell you what, we're going to weigh one of these. One of these is 1, 2. So 3, 6. 3, 2. 3, 9. Yeah, close enough. So that's the peppers for 1 eggplant. We'll move them aside. Probably could take out 1 small one, because the wrinkly ones will weigh a little bit less than the fresh ones because they've been losing some weight to dehydrating. That's part the issue there. If I thought of using Ajvar on pizza instead of tomato sauce, I have. We don't have a fresh pizza dough at the moment, so I don't know that I could accomplish that right now. We still have the same yeast from last time. That's also 1, 2. It's exactly the same weight. No, and we can use all the orange ones. Great. Or all those orange ones in that yellow one. Say whichever one is the best orange one. So that one. Yeah. Okay. Neat. Eggplants are exactly the same weight, which is convenient. Oh. No, what I've been struggling with is the creeping cold in my house. I have quite an old house, and it doesn't quite stand up to the winter chill. Doesn't quite stand up to the winter chill like I'd like it to. Okay. Get out your baking sheets. Bring us over to that side. Didn't adjust the camera pickup on this side, so I hope we don't have trouble. Oh. So, Much less exciting today than last time with meat toaster. I haven't had a chance to get the meat toaster rewired just yet. It's not as simple as just yanking it out. Unfortunately, there's going to be a little bit of a cutting. Naan. We could try a flatbread. We want to start that early. Naan. Naan, parentheses, the best recipe. We don't have a tandoor. So, yeah, that is the best recipe, but I don't have a tandoor. Do it in cast iron, they say. Naan. I do like naan. This is one of those long recipes where they just put the recipe at the top. That shouldn't be too bad. Yogurt. I don't. Bookwoman. Zizan, hi. Zizan, you're not first. Congratulations. Thank you for the moisten. Hard to top meat toaster. I agree. I know our numbers were really, really high last time. I don't think I need a tandoor. Debatable. Moist. This makes 8 naans. Sugar, warm water, yeast, stir to combine. Yeast should bubble in 10 minutes. Yeast, yogurt, salt, oil, knead until it becomes smooth and shiny. Can we substitute sour cream for yogurt? Because I do not have yogurt on hand. And I say I've got sour cream, but I should check, make sure it's not furry. It's not. It's good. Okay, I think we can probably do that. We can probably do that as an experiment with sour cream, and then we can do it in a cast iron on the stove top. I have a wide cast iron. I also have a cast iron griddle. We could use either one of those. Assuming sour cream works. Which I'm just gonna assume it works. Well, in that case, I should do that first. I should get the dough together first. Okay, I've got the recipe I pulled up is from Rasa, Malaysia. It's not. The problem is our rise was very poor because it's cold. And we managed to get it to rise by putting it over here on the hot, or the warm oven top while the oven was running. And I'm not ready to run the oven yet. Still got that old yeast. It's the same yeast. Have not replaced the yeast yet. It'd be easy to fit 3 of those on here, but not necessarily 4. Fit 4 on that guy. Does the Instapot have a warm? It does, actually. It has a proof mode. I couldn't buy new yeast. I was too busy buying peppers. I was too busy buying all of the world's peppers. Anyways, let's come over here. We are going to take the calyx end off of our eggplants because I think it makes them easier to scoop the goop out when you're done. And then split him lengthwise. Oop, little spot in there, but we're going to cook the heck out of this, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just going to rub a little bit of olive oil on the front. Eggplants, you were here just slightly later than when I had all the peppers laid out. This is a normal quantity of eggplant. There's nothing normal about the quantity of pepper. Ask anyone. It's too many peppers. I mean, there's just no getting around the fact that it's too many peppers. I got the eggplants because I got the peppers. Because I figured, Ajvar, that's a good way to use up a lot of peppers. I still only fit 3 of these in there. I literally cannot help myself. That is the case. We are transferring to this one because I am irritated. Thankfully, I put down paper so that other tray is still clean. So yeah, the total of peppers we've got today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24 peppers. Is the peppers. Let's see, we don't need that. I should wash the oil off my hands real quick before I touch everything and get it all oily. Okay, these guys going in the oven. Oop. These guys going in the oven, but the pizza stone is coming out of the oven. I don't have my Ajvar recipe up. We're going to move a rack up. Get them started. Get rid of the eggplant bits. Oh, start cutting peppers. Like I said, we got a couple of wrinkly ones here. The wrinkly ones are going to go first. Put that away. And we're doing this the easy way as well. I'm not going to bother with doing anything except just slicing them in half and plunking them on the thing. We just have to remember, because the stem chunk will come out relatively easily once they are fully broiled. Here's one with a spot. So we cut it in half. Oop, we forgot to grab the sticker on that one. Then we grab a little, not that one, we grab a little paring knife and just whoop out the spots. Oh. No, I can't help myself. I need the peppers because no one else is going to use the peppers correctly. So they're my peppers. Also, when they do it, there's hundreds of peppers in there. They're clearing out the entire stock of peppers. It's absurd. The employees' unconvincing explanation of why they're rotating out all of these beautiful, perfect peppers is unconvincing. I left many behind. There were so many peppers. Just so many peppers. It's also really interesting to me because they put a lot of things in there, but most things look quite bad. They're being gotten rid of because they're obviously old. Whereas the peppers, and to a lesser, oh, got one of these peppers that look like a mouth. The peppers and also the bananas just look so good all the time, and I don't get it. Why they're getting rid of so many of them. Okay, that tray of peppers is going in under the broiler, in between the broiler and the eggplant. To gently, violently char. Gently, violently char. And we will, while that is going, keep going on peppers. On to the orange batch, which have much more prominent stems that I think I'm going to have to trim away. It is amazing how much food is just thrown away. And again, this grocery store is not throwing it away. They're putting it on discount and trying to get it out the door. So that's quite good. The other grocery store does this, but only with packaged stuff. They do not do it with produce at all. And I've talked to them, and they're like, oh, well, we don't want to get in trouble for people getting sick. Which, if you're familiar with the laws around this type of thing, there's no danger of that. Oh, and yeah, don't get me started on, or do get me started, on the stuff that never even makes it to the store because it's ugly. The blemishes, the field blemishes, stuff just gets thrown away before it ever leaves the farm. But yeah, slightly wrinkly peppers, perfectly fine. Near as I can tell, they throw out bananas as soon as the first brown spot appears, which, in my opinion, is when the banana is almost ripe. So, so there's that. When I'm finding these beautiful bananas, they're perfect as far as I'm concerned. And these wrinkly ones that we're dealing with, these are from the batch that I got last week. These are not the fresh batch. So they're wrinkly because they've been sitting here with me for several days. And they only barely got to wrinkly. It's crazy. It's crazy. You want to lower food costs, that's the place to start. Anyways. Bananas turn yellow when they're ripe. Bananas naturally do turn yellow when they're ripe. And then they go brown. We are going to take that spot out. It's because people don't know that you can just trim away a little blemish if you don't like it, and the rest of the thing is perfectly fine. They're like, oh, it's got a little blemish. Ruined. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13 peppers. 13 of our 24 peppers just got pepped. Which only leaves me with 11 peppers. What else do you want to do with peppers? What else do peppers like? We were gonna make naan. Naan sounds good. Naan sounds good. And with the oven, with the broiler on, stuff's starting to blister. With the broiler on, the top of the stove is going to be warm, so we can do it there. I did not adjust the brightness over here. Get that fixed. Okay, so let's pull up the naan recipe. I need 4 naan, sugar, half a cup of water, 2.5 cups of flour, half a cup of yogurt, sugar, warm water, and yeast. Yeast, we're going to use the same yeast. Empanada. Get shouted. Welcome in, empanada. How's it going? Okay. Small bowl. We're going to do this the right way around. Small bowl for our liquids at the beginning, because it's getting poured into the dries. Two and a quarter teaspoons, which is a packet, but I don't buy packets. 1, 2, 3, 1 teaspoon. 2 teaspoon, quarter teaspoon. Sugar. 1 teaspoon. Four naan. I think we're making 8 naan, actually. And a half a cup of warm water, which is not a lot of water. And with the air temperature we're dealing with right now, that would definitely cool off quite fast. So we are going to be doing this right on the thing there. Because with the oven running, the top is warm. That one is very hot. Steaming hot, in fact, because that's where the steam vent is, over there. Or possibly a hole in the oven. Wow, you really don't usually see the steam coming out like that. For reference, that burner is off. That steam is coming from the interior of the oven. From our charring, the amazing one. Am I doing oatmeal? No, that is a bowl of yeast and sugar. We are doing naan. Also, hi, welcome, welcome. We have peppers charring in the broiler right now, and the top of the oven here is quite warm, possibly a smidge too warm. So we're putting the yeast here to keep it from cooling off because the house is rather chilly. And then we got to get it out. So yeah, I've got a recipe up from Rasa Malaysia for naan, and a recipe up from Fat Free Vegan, which is I can't. Oh my god. We're putting olive oil in ours. We're not following fat free. That seems insane. For Ajvar, because I have so many peppers. And we're kind of waffling around. I'm also kind of tired today, so I'm kind of losing track of things as I go. So apologies if I kind of just wander around a bit. Let's see. Let that get awoken. Come back over here. Get out a bowl. Water elements, like from Avatar, the element of water. They go whistle whistle. Just sorry, I'm a little crazy on this today. What do I want to? 2¼ cups. Why is everything in quarters? Everything in quarters today. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1 cup. 1. Come on, no. Fluffy, fluffy. 2, 3, 2 cup, and 1/4. Hey, internet chef people, grams for flour. God, why is that not the standard? I understand you can be kind of loose with this, but geez, it's so much easier. I'm not at my best. No, I can't say I'm at my best when I'm. Oh my God, it was -17 when I got up this morning. And I got up late because I overslept because I had insomnia and didn't get to sleep till 4, which is why I'm kind of out of it and rambling a bit more than usual today. Teaspoon of salt. We don't want big crunchy salt, so Salt. Assaulted. Assaulted what? Put in some eggs and chocolate and coffee and chocolate balls. We could. I don't think chocolate balls would go very well with Ajvar. Ooh, my yeast is all bubbly. Probably because it's actually kind of warm. Ooh, and my peppers are getting quite blackened on the top, so we're looking pretty good. Salt and chocolate. If you've never had salted chocolate, salty chocolate balls, you're missing out. Missing out. Oil. We're adding some oil directly to this. 1 tablespoon of oil directly to this, along with a 1/2 cup of yogurt and our yeast. But our yeast has got little bubbles on it, so that's a good sign. The top of our oven might actually be too hot for this. Might actually be a smidge too hot for this because I'm using the broiler, so the heating element that's active is the one that's just like 2 inches down, and we're getting quite a lot of smoke coming out of that. Which has me a little worried, a little on the worried side. Except when I open the door, it stops, so it's probably just steam from the peppers, not smoke. If it was smoke, it would be coming out all the time. The eggplants don't look very cooked. The peppers are looking real toasty, though. Real toasty. I'm gonna get them out of there. Take a look at them. Peppers. I'm going to put them back in, but I'm going to rotate them. But I'm not going to be in there very much longer, though. Just because I think it's heating slightly unevenly. We'll have to remember that when we do the orange ones, that we want to do a rotate on them. Ideally, if you're making this at home, for those of you following along at home, I haven't said that in a long time. For those of you following along at home, the ideal way to do this is over an open flame and just char the heck out of them. Are they supposed to look like that? Yes. We are charring the peppers so that we can get the skins off of them. So yes, they are supposed to look like that. We won't be eating the charred black part. That part comes off. What was I doing? I keep losing track. You haven't cracked open. So they're not going to be in there much longer. We just want to sort of even them out a little bit. I was going to turn this into dough. For which we need the wet ingredients. Salt away. I'm low on olive oil. Fortunately, I'm not actually low on olive oil. I have a whole fresh bottle of it up there, but not quite a tablespoon here. Well, I try to be very experimental. In general, one of it's fun for me to be cooking things that I've never had before. So in fact, this is a safe bet for me because I have made Ajvar, and I'm confident in making Ajvar. Do I have a half cup over here? I do. We're just gonna use that one. Rather than get a fresh one. And again, we don't have yogurt. We're using sour cream. Should be fine. Get that off of there. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Now, of course, yogurt typically has active cultures in it. I don't know that Kemp's brand sour cream does. So this might affect our consistency a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad, though. I'm also not talking super much. Usually I'm much more like, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it. Yogurt, salt, oil, flour, yeast. Is it Turkey's yogurt? No. No. It's not. All right, those peppers are looking much more even. So before I dive in on, oops, hi. Before I dive in over there, oh, it's hot. We're getting them out, and we are putting in the orange ones. Those guys need to be put into a large container that I can put a lid on so they'll steam in their juices a little bit while I'm doing other stuff. That one and that one. No, naan is a flatbread, so it's leavened, but it's not risen. If that makes sense. Flatbreads like pita, like naan, like A lot of those. They're leavened, but then they're not risen like you would with a loaf. They're just, the air is punched out of them and then they're left. We're going to put these guys in here. I remember last time I did this, it was a little bit of a struggle dealing with them. I'm hoping that this method is slightly less of a struggle. Hot pepper water dribbled out of that. Didn't get me, got me a teeny bit. Dribbled mostly on the floor, which isn't necessarily better. Okay, those guys are going to live in that flying saucer until the orange ones come out. Let's come back over here. I poured all this stuff in and I did not dive in on it, so we're going to dive in on it. Feels like a dry dough. Feels like a very dry dough. Yes, this is going to be naan, which is an Indian flatbread. Which Rayuya suggested we go for, and I thought sounded like a good idea, because the only plan I came in today with was Ajvar. But Ajvar's a condiment. Ajvar's not a dish. So you got to have it with something. So we're making naan to dip into our Ajvar. Oh, the sour cream did not incorporate real well there. Okay, we're doing this until it holds together. Then we're going to tip it out onto the worktop and continue kneading it. It's doing a pretty good job of picking up all the bits in the bowl here, so I'm going to say that's a good sign. And it's not massively sticky, and that's also a good sign. It means we can probably just get it out here without having to flour up the work surface a lot. Knead until it is smooth and shiny. Doesn't give me a time. They probably assume that I have a dough hook, but we don't have a dough hook. We do it by hand around here. Oh, how's everyone doing? This one is not sticky, no. This is actually a very nice dough. It was a little on the dry side in there, but once I got it all incorporated, it's definitely not sticky at all. I didn't even have to really flour. Well, I didn't flour the work surface at all. I just tipped it out and started going. Naan is a very chewy, stretchy, thin bread when it's done. So that means we have good gluten development, which means we want to really knead this guy. Hence the knead until it is smooth and shiny. And it says about 10 minutes, which is a lot of kneading. We'll have to peek at our peppers before too long. What was I saying? I was saying let's switch my thing here. I see you. I see you. You're not first. Congratulations. Welcome in. I'm also interested to see how the sour cream turns out. I've never done. Have we done naan here before? We've done pita. Isosceles. Yeah, do not go out into that cold. It is very problematically cold. The cold being one of the top reasons I wanted to run the oven a whole bunch today. It'll help the kitchen warm up. This is a lovely dough, by the way. It's getting to that level, that texture where it feels like a smooth, almost skin texture. Need stuff for nachos and frozen pizza to run the oven. You can just run the oven with nothing in it. That is an option. Seems like kind of a waste, but yeah, especially with the broiler going, the oven gives off a lot of extra heat. Oh. Interesting. The dough is starting to slide a little bit. It's becoming smooth to the point where it doesn't even quite cling to the table. It wants to slide, which I think is a good sign. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I gotta make more bread. This is a good workout. If you want a workout that is productive and delicious, Make bread. Make the kind of bread that you need to really knead. Because it really, yeah, it gets your forearms engaged. Never get in a fist fight with a baker. They will break you in half. I have not been timing that, but it feels very smooth. So let's get it rounded out. There's a little bit of a thing going on the bottom, but it feels very smooth. It holds together really well. It's not sticky. Which I think is the sign of a done. Gonna clean that same bowl out. Take this guy, we're gonna put him right there. We're gonna grab our plastic wrap. But yeah, no, seriously. Not all breads. Some breads don't need a lot of kneading. But boy, the ones that do. Or, you want a serious workout that also has a delicious, delicious result at the end? Make your own pasta by hand. None of those fancy pasta machines. Do it with your hands, and you'll earn that pasta. Oh boy, it's a heckin' thing. That pan is no longer hot. Ooh, that burner is hot. The whole stovetop is a little bit on the warm side. Let's vent out the front a little bit. So we're gonna let that guy rise. Rise there. The burner's off, but we're getting radiant heat from the broiler running. You've made with a rolling pin. It's a lot of work. I have also made it. We made it here at least twice. It definitely takes practice. My first go at it was a mess too. It definitely takes some practice, but I feel like it's worth it. We need to rotate our pepper. I don't know how to make pepper rhyme with rotate. But there's our peppers. Rotate in, push them back. And I'm also going to take a peek at our eggplant. Eggplant has been on the bottom rack this whole time. Oh, and it's still pretty firm. It's getting shielded from our broiler quite a lot. So it is not exactly on pace with my peppers. Okay, I guess that means we have a few minutes to think about if we want a third item on the plate. Ajvar, naan. Macedonian. Balkan. Croatian. Nanin domaci. Recepta Ajvar. Ajvar, share, and spinach naan. Problem is, naan does not come from the same part of the world as Ajvar, so oh, interesting. They're like pizza breads, like non pizzas. Non pizzas. I've had non pizzas. We could, in theory, use the Ajvar, as Rayuya suggested earlier, as a sauce. And make non Ajvar mini pizza. Because I have some cheese. Well, I have a kind of cheese. It is queso quesadilla, which is a Mexican cheese. So it would be quite the fusion of things. Chili sauce? Well, the Ajvar is made out of peppers. Malaysia and India are pretty close to each other, but Ajvar doesn't come from Malaysia. It comes from the Balkans. It comes from like the space between Greece and Turkey. Ooh, yeah, rotating definitely is helping us get a nice even blackening on those peppers. We should take a peek at our green peppers while we're thinking about this. Oops, I keep hitting that button. This is hot and steamy. Get out another bowl. Okay, so these guys, they're steamy, they're hot, they are hopefully not completely burn my hands hot anymore. And we want to blend them. These are green bell pepper, or I suppose green paprika in a different part of the world from where I live. It's these that we cut in half and charred under the broiler. And then the other tray was a bunch of orange ones. Because I got 24 peppers for $3. So many. Just an absurd number. But we should be able to very easily take away that bit. Let me get my trash bucket over here so I can bucket things easily. We should very easily be able to get rid of that bit now that they're roasted. I don't think I'm going to bother with the ribs. We're going to put them in. We're going to put them in the food processor today. And we're keeping the green and orange separate. I'm making 2 batches. At least at the moment, my thought process is I'm making 2 batches. Hence keeping the orange and green ones on separate trays. This is definitely a veggie dish. Until I added the yogurt to the naan, there were no animal products in anything I was planning to do at all. The peppers are obviously peppers, and the other ingredients are eggplant, garlic, olive oil, salt, some spices. Immersion blenders are good. We could do one of them in the immersion blender and one of them in the food processor. Although I feel like getting 2 things dirty, maybe not the thing I want to do the most. I'm also not going to be overly chuffed about getting every last seed out of these guys. I'm just going to be sure that I get the main thing, the stem, etc., out. Ever had shrimp pie? I have not had shrimp pie. No, I cannot say that I have. I made a tuna pie with pumpkin, tuna pumpkin pie. That was fun, interesting, weird, like nothing I'd ever had before. Ooh, those guys are looking real black, so let's get them out of there. And rotate our eggplants to the top so they can get caught up. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. You can really see how they blacken on the orange ones. It was tuna and pumpkin. It was salt. It wasn't just tuna. It was salted tuna. It was a thing we made at some point, at one point. Okay, we're going to use the bowl here for exactly the same thing. We're going to put all of our peppers in there. While we're doing other stuff, so they don't cool off too much, but they can cool off a little bit, and they can get all steamy with themselves. And our other steel bowl can go on top. That guy goes there. That guy goes there. Our peppers are going to get transferred back into that. But first, I want to dispose and move the trays out of the way. Okay, okay. Okay. It's all right. It's okay. Are you too hot? No, you're actually kind of cold. Put you there. Sliding back over. So the skins should mostly I said the skins should mostly peel away from the roasted tops. Perhaps I over roasted them just slightly. No, it's coming off. It's just not coming off. The easiest way to do it is to roast them whole over an open flame, because then and take them off as soon as the surface is all black, because then the blackened skin will peel off very easily and the underlying flesh won't have had a chance to burn. You want a really hot, blasting heat. I don't have that. I'm not going to go outside and light a fire in this weather, and I don't have a gas stove, so it is what it is. I thought about trying to do these in the air fryer, but the air fryer's volume is so small by comparison to the oven that for this many peppers, I think we'd still be charring the first batch. The meat toaster has not been rewired, but also I did think of that. The meat toaster is not ready for prime time, but also yes. But also yes. God, I hope we can get that thing to be not a fire hazard. I would love to play around with it more. I want to do a steak. I want to do a steak in the thing. The the problem is its own cord is the problem. Also, I worry that the 240 circuit would just make that thing explode. It's already getting, frankly, absurdly hot for how small the device is. It's much hotter than a toaster oven. It's much hotter than a toaster. I'm not being super fussy about getting every little scrap of skin off of these guys. We're just getting the bulk of it. Hi, Megs. Welcome, welcome. You're in time for the tedious part, where I peel the skins off of peppers. If I recall, the last time we did this, I at some point gave up and just started throwing them in the blender with much of their skin on. Because this is definitely the part that is probably not super worth it. And we have a pretty high-powered food processor that can pulverize these skins. Maybe there's not really a surface on the inside to do stuff like that with. We can try all sorts. I would like to try all sorts of things with it. It definitely has potential. It's just obviously has some kind of a problem with its own cord. Likely just it's a very old piece of tech and the wiring they used is old and crap. The plug doesn't even have a grounding pin, for example. It's just two-prong into the wall, good luck. Which, I mean, makes sense for a device designed and built in the 70s. But also, yeesh. Oh, that's the way to do it. Split it in half and just give it a yank. Oh. And that's what they're supposed to. So I did overdo them a little bit because this is what they're supposed to do. Is just release in a big sheet. That's the point. That's the point. That one was perfect. The other ones are a little overdone. Uh, the pepper itself is softened to the point where a spoon would dig into it. Good thought though. It's just a case of I overshot. I think I overshot a little bit. So the flesh underneath the skin also got a little bit on the charred side. And the two bits of char are trying to stick to each other. Like I said, it's supposed to blister the skin really quickly. And then, like that one, it just sort of releases from the underlying pepper flesh. Well, I just need to do this every time they have an abundance of peppers until I'm perfected at it, and then we won't have this problem anymore. And Ajvar is delicious, so I will also get a bunch of delicious Ajvar out of it every time. Some of them are perfect. The thing is, some of them are perfect. Some of them are overdone. So it is a matter of. I bet you the wrinkly ones went over much faster because they were already a little bit dried out. The blackened parts are going to provide some smoky, charred flavor. There definitely is an element of you don't want them to scrub completely clean because you want some of that in there. Okay, those are good enough. I'm going to call those good enough. I remember this happening last time where it was like, this is good enough. I'm hoping the orange ones are a little more forgiving. Before I dive in on the orange ones, I want to take a peek at our eggplant, and also hopefully turn our broiler off. It's steamy. Our eggplant is very brown. They are on the wrong side. Let's move that there. Let's move this here. Ooh. So you can see how they indent when I poke them. That means that the contents are softened. How soft? Pretty soft. And that's what we're looking for, is soft. So I'm going to turn the oven off. And I'm going to take each one of these and flip it. And then this guy can I flip it so that they can cool off a little bit faster because I would like to have them cool enough to handle so I can scoop their guts out. But they're looking pretty good. So while those are chilling out a little bit, we're going to go back to our peppers. Set that aside. Grab spoon. Start doing this again. Do this again, but this time orange. I think some of these are better. They don't look like the blackening got to the interior as much. So these hopefully are slightly easier to peel as a result. They also are breaking loose their pith and seed and stem bits quite readily and easily, which is nice. Which is nice for me. Is their produce more visually appealing than eggplant? Sources say no. I bet you could find some people to debate the other side of that one, if you would like. I know people who actively dislike eating eggplant, and as a result, avoid gazing upon eggplant as well. I like eggplants, and they're quite handsome. An eggplant is quite a handsome fruit. Or aubergine, as the folks say. Your family are anti-eggplant, but are extremely picky eaters. That seems like a situation when saying and are extremely picky eaters would fit quite well. Oh, the peeling is already easier, even though it's hotter. Look at how much nicer that one peeled. That right there is what they're supposed to do, where the charred skin just kind of lifts away. So I overdid the green ones a bit. These orange ones are on point. Well, so far. The first two are looking smart. Oh, look at how perfect they are. Oh, look at how perfect it's coming off. Oh, 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 perfect, perfection. I blame myself for this, but I also give myself credit for doing it correctly the second time. Again, doing this over an open flame would give you that blasting heat on the outer surface, would get that char to form very quickly, and then you're also looking at it while it's happening because it's on an open flame, so there's very little danger of letting it sit in there too long. Doing it on a grill would also be good for the aforementioned open flame reasons, but you don't have to hold them in a grill. You can just let them rest on the grill. I'm glad I'm glad the orange one's not quite so so tedious. I know watching me slowly pick away at something is not the best viewing, and I've done it more than a few times. So Flemish, what you got to do is start hiding eggplant in things they do like to eat, like their breakfast cereal, or ice cream. Places where they'd never suspect it, and where it would be very easy to hide. You know what we didn't roast alongside any of this? Garlic. Probably would have been wise to do some garlic along with all this. Peaches. Isosceles. Are you okay? These aren't peaches. Peaches, 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 peaches. I will say those were so much easier to peel than the green ones. Just so much easier. That right there is how they're supposed to go. Peaches on the brain, I guess. Let's clean this off. Let's knock my spoon directly onto the floor. The spoon that I was going to use. I guess we'll get out a fresh spoon. These guys, which are now cool enough to touch, can be scooped out. And the reason I cut the tops off is because you can see the fibers kind of pull toward the stem at the top, and it becomes very annoying to get them out of the skins if you leave those tops intact. You can cut them afterwards if you would like, but I just think it's easier to cut them right away. Eggplant is important here because it gives us substance and texture. Not a huge amount of flavor, but without it, the peppers don't really form a nice texture when you blend them. Okay, that's the one plant, and this is the two, and the green bowl is just off stage right here, so that's the direction we're heading with the eggplant number 2. The non-dough has not risen a ton. It has not risen a ton. It has expanded quite notably, but it's not massive, massive. We can go take a look at it. The problem, I think, is the sour cream was cold. So when I added it into the mass, it cooled the whole thing down. And then it warmed up while I was kneading it, but it didn't really warm up all the way. So then it had to warm up a bit more while it was sitting before it could really get moving. If we slide over, that's it there. It has expanded quite noticeably. Top of the oven is still quite warm. I'm not going to get back to that until our Ajvar is blended and simmering. How much garlic do we have? I have 2 heads of garlic. So these are our 2 different Ajvar things. And I wanted to do something slightly different with them. The green one, I wanted to throw in some capers, because I thought that sounded like it would be a really good addition. I got that idea when I was reading the one that said throw in olives, which were Kalamata olives, which I don't have. I don't know. That's not. I have. Oh, actually, do I? Is that a Kalamata olive right there? Did I lie? Did I lie directly to all of your faces? My God, I did. I also have oil-cured olives. But I wanted to do that with this one. This one wanted to be something different. Something different. So I'm going to take a scoop of our capers and put them right there. And that's going to be blended in. I love capers, by the way. They're like vegetable anchovies. Salty, intensely flavored. Just chuck them in. We're also going to get out a head of garlic and start putting garlic into these guys. Assuming this garlic is any good. It's a little on the old side. And on the cold side. Wow, how much garlic should we add? What do you think? Is the answer to how much garlic should we add just yes? I think we're going to kill this head of garlic between the 2 of these guys on account of These cloves don't look very fresh. And that makes me think that they're not very fresh. This was a garlic I got a while ago. They're not sprouty, they just look kind of partially dried up. I wish I had thought ahead and roasted this head of garlic with things. Because I don't really want the strong, strong flavor of fresh garlic. A bold amount of garlic. It's a appropriate amount of garlic. Do not besmirch garlic in my presence. Frankly, if you're going to break open a head of garlic for a recipe, plan on using the entire thing. I don't care what the recipe is. That's irrelevant. Garlic coward. I think while the oven is still warm, we're gonna scoop up our bits directly into our trash bucket here. Take the little bitty bits off. Now, just because it looks kind of it's probably lost some flavor on account of it looking kind of That one looks especially But we'll take the root ends off of these guys. Have I seen a documentary called Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers? No, I have not. Sounds entertaining. Delightful. Perhaps tongue-in-cheek? Ooh, our naan is poofing. Our naan is poofing quite a bit all of a sudden. All of the sudden. Worst designed olive oil bottle ever. Okay, garlic. Olive oil. Tossy toss. Teensy tiny tray. Oven on again. Although on normal, not broil this time. And I'm gonna, open my fresh thing. I did remember to pick up more aluminum foil after we used up our aluminum foil the other day. Why would you do this, aluminum foil company? They glued it to itself so that it could not be pulled off without tearing the foil. Okay, those guys are going to get roasted. Told you I was going to be distracted and all over the place today. And you didn't believe me, but here we are. What was I doing? Cooking? Something? The dough should double in size. The dough has doubled in size, which means we're at the stage where I should be doing non-things. We'll set stuff aside there. Divide it into 8 portions. Cook it in a hot skillet. Brush it with melted ghee and fresh cilantro. No, absolutely not. Hard refuse. What's everybody else having for dinner? While we struggle. Gonna want a pot. It's the cilantro I'm objecting to. Hard refuse. Yeah, I want to get some of these bowls out of my way. So, even though the naan is the next thing up, we are jumping into food processing the Ajvar. Or at least we're getting the stuff out for it. Oh, boy. Food processor. Food processor. Food processor. Slot open. You guys can look directly down the barrel and I can feed stuff into the slot here. We're doing these as separate pots. I know you're not supposed to simmer it afterwards, but serve room temperature or chilled. I guess you're not supposed to simmer it afterwards. So I won't. I just want to get those garlics roasted. And we're going to put olive oil in it to achieve our desired consistency. And it's going to need some salt, a dash of vinegar, and they both request some red pepper, some hot pepper. And that's where I want to take the split. I think I want to make the green one salty savory and the orange one salty spicy. They're both going to be salty. And we didn't roast up any hot peppers to go with this. So we're going to cheat. And we're going to fuse in one of my favorite things. Was I going to toss in a handful of... The olives gave me the inspiration to reach for the capers, which I thought sounded like an excellent flavor addition. I wasn't necessarily going to throw the olives in. I could throw... We could... Are these pitted? They're not. So we'd have to pit the olives. But what I was going to throw in was some Lao Gan Ma spicy chili crispies into the orange ones. I suppose I also need a jar that I'm going to put this stuff in once it's done. Like this one. Or this one. What do you think? What do you guys think? Olives, no olives? We've already got capers poured into the green pepper mix. Our garlics are looking roasty. They're quite small, so it doesn't take them very much time. Let's get them all flipped so that they brown evenly. Any excuse to run the oven more today, I guess. They'll be ready in just a moment, actually. You would lean negative on the olives. Considering I already did the capers, that was the direction I was headed with it. It was capers in one and Lao Gan Ma in the other, which we're going to get out some Lao Gan Ma. If you've never had this stuff, Lao Gan Ma is actually just a brand. They make a bunch of these. Things. But they're so good. I only regularly see this one. The translations from Chinese of the various varieties are very not descriptive. So, spicy chili crisp isn't super descriptive. The Chinese name, which is on here somewhere, I don't speak Chinese, I don't read Chinese, they're more specifically descriptive. And there's a bunch of different varieties of them. Okay, we're gonna get one of these guys going. We're gonna start with the green one. No, we will feed it through the the shoot. Because those garlics should be just about ready too. You do like the one with the black beans in it. This one has, the one I have has roasted soybeans in it. They're all slightly different, and I wish that the names in English were better translated. But usually I can only find the one kind anyways, so it's not a huge deal. There's the garlics. We'll go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. One and a little bitty guy, that one, that one. That's my split. One pot gets one pot gets the other. Okay, let's get blending. Turn it on. Low. Oop. I think we overshot the motor on it. Are you hot? No, you're not hot. Carafe is a little bit warm. The thing itself isn't. I guess it just only runs it for a little while. That's good. It got most of the way through all that stuff on that first run. So I can open it up and pour in the juice. Either that or it got too much resistance. That's also possible. Let's take one of our piles of garlics, chuck them right in there. And go lid on, I think. Some hot pot balls in the freezer. Use them to make a stir fry. Turn out pretty good. You need to cut the sugar down from 1 tablespoon to half or less. Sugar. Ooh, look at that stuff. Look at this stuff. Let's get out a taster spoon. See what we're working with. Probably needs salt. Definitely needs salt. which makes sense because I added no salts to this. Just the capers. I also want to add some black pepper. To this one, and a bit more olive oil. It's full up. We really filled up the carafe on this thing. Okay, the oil should have loosened us up a little bit, but not too much. It's very mild by comparison to what I had last time. It's very tasty. Interesting. I'm surprised how mild it is. It makes some sense. We didn't put any hot pepper in it. I thought the garlic would come through a little bit more. Tasty. That's tasty. What was that sound? What did I just hear? I heard a sound. I heard a sound. It's very different than I was expecting. It sounded like a door slamming, which it very well could have been, but where? Let me check out the front window real quick, and just in case it was like a rear ending. That's happened before, where I've heard a bang, and when I look out, there's been a car accident. Nope, no car accident out there. The thing is, it would have to have been a very loud door slam for me to hear it, or right in the back, which is why I looked out here first. But there's nobody out there, so I don't know. I'm not sure. We need to get this out of here because I need to reuse the carafe to blend the other part. And I would like that to go in there, but I'm almost concerned I have too much. In fact, I'm mostly concerned I have too much. Do we have a larger jar? We do not. We have this. We have this thing. We have these things. They're not really meant for wet storage things, but they should be fine, right? Does anyone know if these type of plastic containers have any problem with wet storage? I'm going to do this over the sink, just in case I make a mess. It's just plastic with like a suction seal lid. Get out a scraper, scrape the down. Not what I thought I'd be putting in these containers when I got them, but here we are. Okay. I would be concerned about it either contaminating the food or damaging the plastic. Oh, you know what we didn't put in there? The little bit of vinegar it said I should put in there. That might be why it lacks some of the complexity that I remember. Glacier Crest. You're not first. Congratulations. We're on Ajvar number 2, the orange one. The one that is orange. The orange is the one who knocks. Something, something. It can live in there for a short period of time while I prep. Our naan is very poofed. And it doesn't need to be here with me anymore. Which is a good sign. Okay, power back on. Power back on. I feel like I could just pour this in. I don't need to... be real precious about it. Slopped it down the side a little bit, but we don't need to be real precious about it because we're just blending the heck out of it. And that way I can measure out quantities of other things like the salt and a little bit of vinegar. A splash of vinegar, a generous of salt, and about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feels like the right amount of oil. Lid, blast it. Check it. Ooh. The Laogan Ma comes through a lot strong. Comes through a lot stronger than the capers do. That one's definitely a lot better. Saizane wants a moisten. Saizane wants another moisten. Hold on, I Dribble drip. That one's got a. It almost makes me want to go back and add to the other one. This one's real good. The green one seems very mild. Makes me want to add something to it. But what? But what? Thank you for the moisten. Moist. Let's get this guy out of here. I feel like I left this one a little bit chunkier than the green one on account of the didn't reblend it. With my scraper. Okay. That's the thing. Wow. Non-dough is definitely on the next thing we have to do. Oh. Get rid of this guy. Suction cups his way down. Clean off the worktop. A little bit of residue from the kneading was still there. Oh. What time is it? 7:30. Ugh. We're doing really long ones lately. I've been doing really long ones lately. Naan should go fast. Let's dry that off as well. Where's my mouse? Yeah, there's no rising after we dive in on it, so there's our naan. There's our naan. It has definitely more than doubled. 5:30, 7:30 for me. Little bit on the late side. We're gonna punch him down first. It's overproofed. It's for sure overproofed. So we're gonna get it released from the bottom. Push him together enough that I can get this thing around him and go cut. 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 There you go. Non-doughs. And then we grab one. We heat up a skillet over high heat. Lightly grease the surface to avoid sticking. We are using my fancy skillet. My fancy skillet. It is fancy. Dab of olive oil, which I'm just gonna spread around with my hand. And it says high heat. Knowing my stove, I'm gonna set it to 7. Boy, I made a mess today. I feel like I haven't done anything, and I've made just such a mess. Also, I feel like I haven't done anything, and it's been 2.5 hours. Oh, what I get for having no plan. Slide back over here. That little piece of dough is going to turn into a naan. It says make them a circle, and I didn't. Kind of a bell shape. Now that should heat up pretty fast. When it puffs up and bubbles and the burnt spots appear, flip it. So we want them thin enough that they'll cook very quickly. And we want the pan hot enough that they'll cook very quickly. So I should probably get the next one ready to go. I should be rolling these out sideways first. And I'm more want to shoot for the same thickness than same size. That's going to give us an evener cook. So this big heart-shaped one is quite a lot larger. Our pan is smoking, so slap that guy on there. And roll out a couple more while we're waiting for that one to do its thing. I'm also not real concerned about the shape on these guys. Oh, we've got bubblage. Booblage. Look at it booble. Oh, 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 cooks so fast. It cooks so fast. Let me get out my actual flipper for this. Oh, oof. Too hot, I think. But they sure do cook fast. And bubbly. Yeah, I think we were a little on the too hot side for that first one. Now, they're supposed to be very hot because they are cooked in a tandoor, which, if you've never seen a tandoor, are absurdly hot. They're also super thin, so they do cook quite fast. Yeah, it's not, there's no raw dough. It's done. Yeah, and the time it takes me to roll out the next one, the one that's on there, has already essentially cooked. And is ready to flip. Well, not quite. I'm a little bit faster than I think now that I've turned the temperature down just slightly. But it bubbles quite quickly, which is a good sign to me. Oh, 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 beautiful, beautiful. So I think we could turn that up ever so slightly. Oh, how's it going, Glacier Crest? What is up? What is up with everyone? We're supposed to have had a rotation of viewer folks since earlier by this point. Yeah, I'm dialing them in a little bit. That one's a triangle. Rolling them out thinly and consistently thinly is definitely a part of this. Because you want the surface of the naan to bubble in around the same amount of time it takes for the underside to get its blackened leopard speckles. And also, much like a pancake, the first one picks up some of the oil that I used to grease the pan, and then the other ones don't have that, so they cook a little bit more normal. We're also a little hot again, so bringing it back down. If we did this on high, as the thing suggests, we would be flipping them in just a second. Over high heat, yeah. But that is a matter of knowing your own stove, knowing your own cooktop. Instructions for cooktops are very vague and generalized. So the best way... the kitchen has become quite warm. The kitchen is relatively isolated from the rest of the house, so the furnace has still been running. But this room, which normally the furnace has a hard time getting to because we're all the way on one end of the house, has warmed up quite a lot. So all this cooking has indeed had a noticeable impact. Look at you remembering from the beginning. That one's not bubbling very much. It's smoking quite a lot, but I'm not getting bubbles on my side. Whoa, that one didn't bubble. It didn't let me know that it was ready to bubble. We might top off our pan with a little bit of an oil spray after this one, just to Also, the oven is now off, and it's still quite warm in there. But yeah, the kitchen is quite comfortable at this stage. Okay, so we burnt that one a little bit. We're losing control of our heat just slightly here. This is a good naan recipe. Okay, I haven't eaten them yet. But in terms of how they behave, this is a good naan recipe. This dough is very easy to work with. Ooh. Ooh, I can smell that oil that I used. That is not a good oil. Wow. What oil's in there? Soybean oil. It smells terrible. Ooh, and our pan is once again too hot. Oh boy, that one just smelled terrible. It's getting a little bit smoky in here too. Gotta speed up on these guys. So let's refresh with a dash of the good stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I don't smell it anymore. It was just, I think it was just when it heated up, it did something. It did something. Also, our pan has gotten quite toasty. These guys are bubbling very fast. Propellant, it's probably the surfactant. The soy lecithin. It smelled like burning canola oil, which I thought I was going to flip that thing over and have it say canola oil at me. But it says soybean oil, and soybean oil doesn't smell like that. Canola oil does smell like that. It has a weird, like, fishy smell to it. Canola's a terrible oil. I don't buy into all of this whole stupid thing online these days. All seed oils are going to kill you. I don't buy into any of that crap, but boy, canola oil is just a terrible oil. It's cheap and edible, and that's the only thing it's got going for it. I guess we'll flip this guy right away too. Oh, now see, that one didn't go nearly as fast. Okay, we're getting down to it. I'm gonna let him get a little bit more color on the other side. But we're gonna take the heat off. We're going to, I suppose the naan already has a plate. I'm gonna take that one and the really toasty ones toward the bottom and have the nicer ones at the top. Ooh, this one's doing a pita pocket thing. I guess I'm gonna take him off the heat then, because I don't really want a pita pocket, I want a naan. Okay, that was an adventure today. But we have a result. Any time for the naan pizza. I did say that. I did say that, didn't I? We can do that. We can do one little naan pizza. I did just pour these into their dishes, but if I pop the oven back on, I was just thinking, boy, I'm hungry. We should get to it. But you're right. I did say that was a good idea. Let's find one of the ones that doesn't look so good. That one. You know, I took the pizza stone out of the oven because I wanted room for all of my roasting. I can already tell you which one I think tastes better, and it's the orange one, because I think I underseasoned the green one. To the point where I kind of want to add another whole pinch of salt right into the jar there. So I don't think there's a competition there. I think we underseasoned the green one. I think you needed a lot more capers to do what the capers were trying to do. And having a spicy pepper in there instead is definitely the winning option. So, as much as I'd like to have an actual taste test between them, there's already a clear winner. But if I'm going to put cheese on this, we got to get a layer underneath it. I also don't have very much cheese, so doing 2 would be a big ask for my quantity of cheese. I didn't plan for a pizza today, so I'm that's all of the cheese. We could cut up some pepper and put it on top of that. Hey, you know what we didn't? We never did anything with the olives. Where'd I put those olives? Did I not put them back? I put them there. What if olive? What if olive? Often has men asked, what if olive? So yeah, I'm probably going to go back to the green one and try to tweak the flavor. Just because it's not bad, but it's so mild. I want to pump it up with something. There's also no vinegar in it. That might be a part of the factor. The other one got vinegar. So I think I'm going to probably revisit the green one anyways. Let's just chuck this guy in here until the cheese is melting. Lemon. That's an idea. I don't want to put it back in and re-cook it now. But I've got lemon juice in the bottle, so we can just put some lemon in there. That probably, because I would like them to be different. If we just give it a shot of this lemon, real lemon brand fake lemon juice. You know. and then stir that through with so I added another pinch of salt and a good healthy shot of lemon juice. Better. Still a lot more mild, but even just the extra salt is bringing up the flavors of the pepper more. And remember, the green ones were more charred than the orange ones, and you can taste that in there. There's definitely an element of that char. You can taste it on the edge. I have a bunch of dehydrated lemons. I could potentially rehydrate a lemon and blend it into that thing. Not right away. Hey, I'm kicking on the broiler again. Because, wow, we're pushing 8 o'clock. This is a long one. Wow-wee, this is a long one. While the pizza is cooking, I'm going to go take glamour shots of our pile of naan and sauces. The orange one tastes really good. The green one needs tweaking. The green one's not bad, it just needs tweaking. And it needs tweaking in the best direction because it is mild. It's much easier to punch something up than it is to punch it down. But I want to get my shots in here. So that I can taste with impunity. With impunity. Because it is rather late for me now. And again, I was tired today. I feel like this shouldn't have taken as long as it did, and I'm kind of out of it. Well, the cheese is all melted, so I'm going to pull that out. There it is. I melted up the cheese. The naan itself was already cooked, so I didn't really want to cook it anymore, so we broiled it. Long streams are good streams, and I know that I cut short often. It's a matter of getting the food done and then eating it. Kind of the reason I want to get other content in here at some point, because I feel like it'd be easier to stretch some other content out. Let's let that cool off a smidge. This isn't great. It's trying to stick to the aluminum foil. I don't want to tear the aluminum foil. Why are you sticking? Why are you sticking to the foil? What was underneath you that would cause you to stick? Why is it sticking to the foil? Like, there's no cheese underneath it because I cheesed it after I put it on the foil. But it's just like adhered. Oh, it's really freaking hot. Stop sticking. Stop tearing. What the hell? Okay, this naan, not good for naan pizza. Declared. Okay, let me go take a picture of that guy real quick. He's on his board. He's on the board. And then we will taste and talk. But not massively long because I'm hungry. My cutter. Tell you what, weirdly shaped naan pizza doesn't cut very well. Okay, bottoms up, naan pizza. Mmm. Mmm. I might just be very hungry, but the cheese has really brought down the already not terribly strong spice of the Ajvar, but the really sharp upfront olive is offsetting our very mild, cheesy, gooey. Mmm. 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 And it's queso quesadilla, so the cheese itself has quite a bit more flavor than a mozzarella would. The naan tears very easily. It's nice. Honestly, I think that this naan, as it is a fresh naan, probably not the best choice for pizza. For one thing, it was really sticking quite badly to the aluminum foil. For the other thing, look at how you can tear it for like sopping up stuff. Because it's soft and shreds apart very, very easily. I feel like the naan that you make naan pizza with is like old naan that is being reheated, so it's much stiffer, works more like a pre-made pizza crust. This fresh stuff, I think this was not. The flavors are fine. I think it's not doing the naan itself justice. It's you can't really taste the sour cream. I'm not getting like a sour note from it. What the sour cream is doing is the same thing that the yogurt would be doing. It's helping give you this really like soft. There's maybe the tiniest hint of a tang in the back end of it. Let's try it with the green one. But what you do with naan, what you're supposed to do with naan, is when you've had like a curry or a butter chicken or a palak, something like that, and you've got that delicious saucy, the juicy part of the curry left on your plate. You take your naan and you tear a chunk off and you just mop it up. That's what this stuff is for. And when you get it at a restaurant, they'll like put garlic butter on it or something. So, but it's for mopping up sauce. And it cooks really fast. Like you saw how fast those cooked. They cook even faster in a tandoor. Like, they're slapping them on the side of the tandoor, and by the time they get around, the first one's done and they pull it off. It's really quick. I don't have a tandoor. I don't think I'm ever going to have a tandoor, but it'd be cool. Mmm. 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 This is distinctly different from the last time I made Ajvar. It's much less spicy because we didn't throw in a bunch of random hot peppers that I got at the farmer's market. Um, so it's much more of a strong pepper flavor, bell pepper flavor. Like the flavor as opposed to the heat is coming through. The green one's actually pretty good with the naan. It's distinctly different. It's much more vegetal. But it has that underlying char flavor from the slightly overcooked peppers. That works pretty well. I'm going to keep eating these while I talk because I'm hungry. Um, mm, mm, mm. If I'm going to go this late, I got to start earlier, but I can't start earlier because now I have a part-time job. um, great call on the naan. Again, it might just be because I'm hungry. Great call on the naan, though. Um, Top notch. This is really good flavors. I super love the flavors going on over here. The sharp chunks of olive, the cheesy cheese, and then this, which is giving me an sort of Asian fusion flavor. It's just that this particular naan is too soft to make pizza out of. It'd be really good in with like a cheese dip. A cheese and olive and pepper dip would be. But yeah. So what would I change, if anything? We could do that. It'll have definitely stiffened up a bit after it cools off. Mm. Well, if you've never made naan, that was how you make naan, and this is what the end result is like. So give it a try. It's real good. It's way easier than pita bread, which we've made here too, which is a load of fun. And they turn into these little balloons, but this is like easy mode of that, and it's super tasty. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, as I've been saying several times now, we have run very long. We have run very long, so I'm going to wrap us up here. Um, Thank you so much for showing up, turning out, sticking with me. This has been a long one. We haven't had a lot of streams lately. Um, we haven't had a lot of streams lately, so I'm on board with doing long ones. But also, I'm making my dinner, so I do get rather hungry toward the end of these. I was also really feeling kind of out of it today. I hope I get a good night's sleep. Um, I only got 6 hours of sleep last night, which isn't like terrible, but it's not great. So I'm a little, you know, today. It's also so cold. I have to. Anyways, we're wrapping up. We're gonna. I don't know who's on at 8 o'clock. So I guess we'll find out who's shows up in this thing. Um, Let's see. Chef Tay is on from my list. Pineapple rice, gochujang fried chicken sounds good. We're gonna go to a food stream. We're gonna go to a food stream. We're gonna go say hi to Chef Tay, who is, as I just said, making pineapple rice, gochujang fried chicken for dinner. Actually, looks like he might be plating, so we might be getting there for the fun part. I don't think we're going to do the full countdown. I don't have much more to say at you people today, other than thanks. Ryu has got our default raid message, but I also use the dino. If you don't have my little guy, use the dino. So yeah, as always, sticking with these Mondays, but I would like to sprinkle some others in whenever possible. But no schedule on that. I don't know. I'm just gonna send us out. We're not gonna do a countdown today. So, bye.